What's going on? And in this video, I want to walk you through the creative strategy that you can use to attract high quality clients and how you can just have a creative process that's easy to make new ads, new organic content that not only attracts the right clients, like I just said, but also brings you those people in at a cheaper cost and makes you stand out. So coming up with ad creatives primarily is a really tough thing to do, and having a process around it is what's going to make you successful, and it's what all the ad platforms are really optimizing for. So I want to show you exactly how to do that. So first things first, I'm just going to walk you through essentially our current internal SOP around how we make new ad creatives, and then I'll walk you through some different examples, and then I'll actually go and make some here live in Canva so you can see how it actually is deployed in process and what it actually looks like being used, and then we can go from there. So first things first, as far as the actual process. So the first things first is to determine winners and losers from the last week or so, as well as historical winners. Now, if you don't have any winners and you're just starting from scratch, this is where you want to use a tool like Creatify, Facebook Ad Library, any kind of spy tool that you want to use to find people that are in your same niche, that are doing what you want to do, that are doing and promoting the same or similar services and products to you, and model what they are doing. That's what you want to start with. Then after you determine those winners and losers and historical winners, you want to determine the creative angles and the creative styles. And this is really like the forefront and the pillars of creating good ads and making ads that actually want people to take action and actually purchase or buy something from you. Once again, this is really focused on ad creative, but you can do the same thing in organic content. So let's talk about creative angles first. I'll switch back over here to this Canva doc and zoom in here. So I've got 13 different angles and 13 different styles. We'll focus on the angles first. First one is problem solution, just displaying what is the problem that you're having. Here's the solution that'll fix it. Easy enough. Personal story or narrative. This is going to be something that can be used, and all these can be used in both image and video, and we'll get into more of those in the styles. Personal story or narrative, easy as it sounds, just someone telling a personal first-person point of view story or a narrative about an experience that they've had. Social proof or case study, an us versus them ad, which is really just a comparison. Offer-based, that's just something that's very direct to the point. This is the offer, this is what it can help you do. Demonstration, think show but don't tell. Myth busting or contrarian. Educational or like a really big value bomb. Pattern interrupt, so something that is kind of weird and that just grabs people's attention and is a pattern interrupt. Lifestyle, identity, or aspirational. POV, founder, expert authority angle, or testimonial compilations. Now, all these 13 angles is what you really want to be looking through the creative and the offer that you're actually promoting. Like, this is the lens you want to look at it through. So let's say you were promoting some kind of coaching services, right? If you were a coach or a consultant, and you were promoting something to help people either grow their business or tap into something personally or whatever it is, when you're thinking about your offer, you want to put them all through. You want to put your offer through all these different creative angles as just a lens, right? So say you're a coach, you're helping people with personal development, maybe you're helping them with develop confidence. You're going to see, okay, well, what is the problem solution that I can help people? What's the problem I help people overcome? What's the solution that I help them do? Boom, there's your angle. What's a personal story or narrative? And you'll basically go through each one of those things, and you want to determine, okay, what are the angles that I actually want to go at here when I'm thinking about making new ads? First step. And even if you come up with just 5, and ideally here you want to come up with 20 new creatives. So I'd recommend determining the angles and the styles first. So 20 new creatives, you ideally want to come up with at least 3 to 5 different angles and 3 to 5 different images. And I'll explain why here in a minute. So once you have those angles, next up, you want to go into different styles. Image ad, video ad, UGC style, carousel, memes, animations, talking head, screen recording, a testimonial montage, or an infographic. Some of these are going to overlap and very specifically apply to the certain angles, but you can absolutely mix and match them. Just to make sure I'm hitting a few more: selfie POV, screen recording or a demo, a slideshow or a static image, a native or a platform matching style creative will do really well too. So you're going to start with these different creative angles and the different styles, right? These are usually the top ones that I use, these 2 blocks right here, but I expanded them out a little bit more right here. After that point, what you want to then do is put together 5 hooks that are actually going to really kick off the creative. Now, you may be thinking, okay, great, hooks and bodies sound like something that would be only usable in like a video ad, but that's not necessarily true. So what do hooks and bodies look like for image ads? So really the anatomy of an image ad, and I want you guys to use this wireframe, is the hook is really the overlayer of the top text. It's the first 3 to 6 words that call out the avatar or the outcome. I'll show you some examples in a minute. And then body is really the visual payload, 1 to 5 formats below that fulfills the hook with proof or clarity. And then it also has a CTA strip in there as well. So if I go to Canva here, there's this ad that we've done. This would be the hook. This pretty much would be the body. And then there's going to be a CTA section as well. And you can do the same kind of thing if you're doing like this like old and new way, or us versus them, or a comparison. This is the hook. This section here is the body, and then this here is the CTA. You could do the exact same thing with meme ads as well. If I have any on hand, I can show you, and I'll go through a decent amount of these as well. This would be a meme ad right here. The hook for the meme ad is almost going to be like the meme itself. So I'd say the hook for this is really this section. This is the body, and the body and CTA are almost piled together, right? Same with this one, meme ad. This is the hook. This would be the body and CTA are basically paired together. This one's a little bit less text. I'd say that this image is really the hook. This is the body, and then here's the CTA, just for some examples there for you. So that's really what that's going to look like. After you come up with 5 different hooks, you're going to also come up with 4 different bodies, and you want to lock the winning bodies. So ideally, you want to spend your weekly cycles really testing more hooks. Only test new bodies on a set cadence or when the data says that the body is the problem. 80% of ad performance is really decided by that opening hook or by that really big first kind of section of copy in the image ad. So that's where you want your new reps to go. Potentially do new bodies monthly or new bodies every other week. And then from there, you can go ahead and actually make 20 creatives. So let me show you what this could actually look like. And I'll actually make a few creatives for a few different kind of sample industries so you can see what it actually looks like. Okay, so let's actually make a few creatives. I'll start with doing one for a fitness coach, and then I'll do another one for a consultant that helps real estate agents make more money. And then maybe I'll do one for just like a very generic, random like hat or something like that, like a physical product. Okay, so first things first, let's pick our style, and I'll choose some that are working for us right now as well that are doing really well. So I'll start with this one right here that we were just looking at. And I'll actually clone it. We're just going to redo the copy. So that style right there is really going to be offer based because it's pretty direct, but there's also going to be kind of a version of like problem solution in here. So we'll start with that. So first things first is the hook, the actual call out here. So if this was for a fitness coach, someone that helps people, I probably want to define things a little bit more. So I'd probably say they're a fitness coach and their best clientele is men that have kids and that are busy. So like they're successful men, they work a job, but they have kids. So they don't have a lot of time on their hands and they want to lose, let's say 20 pounds, right? So the hook is going to be something that calls them out and is very specific, and that has that promise almost front and center. And I'd want it to be like a very crazy, irresistible promise. So what if I said like lose 20 pounds before, I don't know how realistic this is, before Jan 2026, or I'll just say lose 20 pounds before 2026. And then I could probably make this a bit better and say busy dads lose 20 pounds before 2026. And then we could say something like, no strict diets. I probably want to think of like, what are the common problems people are having that want to lose weight, right? So no strict diets, don't live in the gym, still have time to work and spend with the family. All right, so there's my hook. And now the same thing, I could technically take this creative and do a different hook. I could do a very small variation, but it'll make a really big difference. So what if I just got rid of busy dads? What if it was just lose 20 pounds before 2026. And what if it didn't have any of that? What if it was literally just lose 20 pounds before 2026? And then we could say, something like hundreds of busy dads are using this simple, I'll say like 3W system to lose 20 pounds in just 4 weeks. And sustain it. All right, hundreds of busy dads using this 3W system to lose 20 pounds in just 4 weeks and sustain it. We could say something like DM me 3W so I can break down the system for you and see if you qualify to use it. So there's layering something in there where it's actually explaining to them that there's like something they're applying for. This isn't like a freebie or anything like that. And this 3W system, I literally just pulled it off my head. Like, it doesn't mean anything, but this would be your unique mechanism. It's going to make the ad perform a lot better. If you just said, if you said everything else, but you didn't have like this 3W system or whatever your unique mechanism is, you're going to start to blend in with everyone else. But overall, this is something that's going to work really, really great. Now, what we could do is we could take this exact same copy and just put it now into a few different angles. So if we wanted to do a very strict, like us versus them ad, because that I'd say is more direct offer. But if we wanted to do an us versus them ad, what we could do is we could take this idea here, this like old way, new way, and do the exact same thing. So if we said this, I'll just snag this piece. So the hook will be busy dads lose 20 pounds before 2026. I'd probably want to tweak it a little bit. Busy dads. We could even just leave it like that. And then the old way could be strict diets. So you just put the same kind of problem. Strict diets, going to the gym 7 days a week. Let's say 6 days a week. Slow results. I don't know what it's called, like bounce back weight. So they lose it and then they gain it all back quickly. Result, not working, right? And then I'll do the same on this side, right? So that's just taking that one idea, that one angle, and now I've turned it basically into 2 ads. And then I could do the same thing. I could basically do more of like an infographic style. I could film a video talking about that exact same thing. I could do more of a testimonial style. I could do a meme, etc., etc. Really easy. Let's do one more. Let's do a pattern interrupt one. I think a lot of these other ones are fairly self-explanatory. But what's really cool is like we could do a pattern interrupt and a carousel. So that would be that would actually be a really good way to do it. So if we were to do a pattern interrupt carousel, I would probably start with obviously something that's going to be more pattern interrupty. So maybe we do like a brighter color. So when people are scrolling, it kind of grabs their attention. And then what would be really cool is we could actually make some kind of interesting image with AI. So let's say we wanted to do something. Let's say this was like an ad for a coach that helps real estate agents make more money. So I'll just say this could work for any make money offer, right? So what if we said an alien dropping money into a bank account? I thought this would make it for me. There we go. And now you can use ChatGPT for the same kind of stuff, and I wouldn't overthink it. Sure, there's a lot deeper ways that we could get into this where we could really prompt engineer and make something that's really, really dialed in. But even if you just ask chat like, hey, you are a direct response marketer that makes high converting ad creatives. And then what I would do is you basically tell chat about your offer and then say, hey, can you give me some ideas that would be a pattern interrupt? Or could you give me just some general creative concepts that would be a us versus them or offer based? Then you got all those ideas. Even if one or two of them are like 80% of the way there, you do the other 20% to get it over the line. Then you've got a few angles, and then it's easy to drop them in to different styles, right? So even this one, like this was like an alien putting money into a bank account. So this would be like the pattern interrupt. So bright color that would stop their scroll. I could probably match it a little bit more. So it's like this green. And then we could do like an arrow. And we could do something like this. And so like me counting all my new commission checks from my last 20 deals. Something like that. Last 20 deals of the year. We could make it even more crazy, like my last 70. Obviously, we'd want to make this like legit. Put a background so it makes sense. I'll make it this white just so it kind of pops a bit more. Okay, so something simple like that. And then the next slide would basically be the same thing or the same concept from that Apple Notes creative. So we could basically take copy that is similar to this. Obviously this isn't exact, but it gets you a good idea. So add in text, paste that in, make it a bit smaller here. And then you could probably put some more like funny alien memes or something, or like alien pictures, just so it kind of lines up. But you would have me counting all my commit, like some hook, some pattern interrupt, right? Then you'd have more details on the next slide. Maybe you have a testimonial on the next slide, and then you'll have a call to action, right? It's like explaining. And each of these on the carousel side, they're almost going to function as separate creatives. Like this is going to be pattern interrupt, and each week you could test a new hook right here. Easy. Then this next slide is really going to be like very direct, offer focused, very specific, talking to the person you want, etc., etc. The next slide could be more like testimonial based, so on and so forth. So I think if you follow that structure, this is what's worked really, really well for us. It's just spitballing with AI, figuring out and getting 80% of the idea done and finishing the rest of the 20% ourselves, and then launching those ad creatives. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want help with making ad creatives, if you want help with launching ads that are actually successful and that are profitable, click below, book a call with me directly. We'll chat. I'll learn a little bit more about your business. I'll give you really direct feedback. And even if we don't work together, you'll walk away from that call with having a very clear outcome or very clear goal of what creatives do I need to make, what ads do I need to make, what system do I need to build that actually brings me clients predictably. We've been using these same systems for years. They add 10 to 20 clients every month for our clients. I believe we can do the same for you. So if you're interested, click below, grab a quick call with me. Won't be pitching you anything because I don't even know if we can help, and we only take on a few clients every single month. So if you're interested about that, click below. We can help you out. Thank you so much for watching this video, and go out there and make more creatives because it's going to be a really easy way for you to grow your business. We'll talk soon.